Hey everyone, welcome to this live session. We're talking about pharmacy career paths, and I'm joined today by my good friend Janan. We're talking about associations. Now, full disclosure, she actually works with me in the Happy Farm D. She's one of our pharmacist coaches. So, Janan, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks for having me.
What we're doing in this series, I see that we're not live on LinkedIn. That's okay. We'll figure it out. One of the things that we're doing in this series is talking about different career paths. So we have identified over 50 different career paths on our website at thehappyfarmd.com. We'll put a link in the comments. And one of those, of course, is associations. Now, this is broad. We're talking about associations in not just pharmacy, but you could also seek outside of the profession as well. Other pharmacists work outside of pharmacy that don't even consider that. But I think what would be great is kind of just give a broad overview of what it's like in the association world. And then we'll dive more into some of the benefits and what it's like working in that field. Cool with that, Janan?
Sounds good. Yeah,
So give us just a little bit of background of like where you are, where you're from, and how you got into associations.
sure. So, where I am, I'm going into about year 7 at the American Pharmacists Association. And so, where I work specifically is in the books and digital publishing department. And I've kind of, the path I got here is interesting, and I've made my way up in the field of, how I got here. But you said, what is it like, or, what is my work like? It's, some buzzwords, but I'll use them because it's really real. It's collaborative. Every day is different. It truly, truly is. I feel like I can be innovative and creative on a daily basis because what I do in the books and digital publishing department is create resources for pharmacists, students, faculty that teach in schools of pharmacy, as well as technicians. And the material is created by pharmacists. So, you can imagine in my work, I'm seeking pharmacists to not only author the materials, but peer review. So I'm working with external authors. And then within the association, I've got partners and other people that I work with at APHA and maybe even other associations that I get to collaborate with. So, when I say every day is different, and just the leadership ability, the mentoring, it's really, really unique and really fun. And I guess I can say one more thing. Currently, I mentor residents, and I'll be a preceptor for a residency program that we have at APHA as well.
Yeah. So it's funny how there are so many different avenues, right, as to where you can go. I mean, you're in publishing, right? I wouldn't even think about that,
Right.
as an avenue that you could go in pharmacy. And there, as you and I have actually discovered, because you helped me create our blog, which we've put in the comments, that's all about pharmacists and associations. But you don't even really handle policy, which is what I think a lot of people consider.
That's right. Yeah. The career paths that an association, when, you hear the term association management, or you hear people saying, I really want to work in government affairs, I want to be advocating. I still feel that the work that I do does involve advocacy. And, you may think, oh, she doesn't really do patient care. Yeah, I don't touch pills and I'm not really involved in direct patient care, but I still have to use a lot of my pharmacist skills. And my colleagues in different departments and other associations, whether on the state level, local level, or national level, there are so many different areas, and whether you're doing practice affairs, as we stated, government affairs, membership. I just recently collaborated with a really close friend of mine that works in the membership department, and we worked on a book that was an exclusive member benefit, and that was really, and actually it's with someone Brittany Hoffman Eubanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, it's just a small world. That's another cool thing about, I would say, about pharmacy in general that we meet and find out all the time about how networking is so important and how much of a small world this really is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And the cool thing is because of your network, I'm sure that's led to new and interesting opportunities, right?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I'm sure. Isn't that actually how you got into association? Was
That
through your network?
it was through my network. It was honestly, I'm a huge advocate for having mentors and coaches and everything. So I've always been one of those maybe wild cards in pharmacy. I love pharmacy and I practiced in community pharmacy and was thinking I would do something in that pathway, but also really appreciated academia. And specifically, here's the interesting part. Really always loved, you see a lot of books behind me, and now it makes sense that I'm in book publishing, but the thing that I've always been interested in is higher education pedagogy. So like the science of learning, how people learn. So and now more so the impact of technology on how people learn. And, especially with COVID-19, that's more relevant than ever because so many schools are becoming remote. To this day, they're remote learners. And so that's relevant now. But if I kind of rewind, exactly how I got my job was that I went to school at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And when I was, in my fourth year, as I was, going into my fourth year rotations, talking to my mentors, I was on an academic rotation saying, I don't know, I guess I'm going to apply for maybe some community residencies or not exactly sure what I want to do. The opportunity came to say, Janan, why don't you consider doing this, non-traditional fellowship we're basically going to create for you. It's educational technology, research and development. Oh my gosh, that sounds exactly like my passion, right? Science. And so for that year, I basically took a leap of faith and I accepted that. And what I did for my fellowship was, at UNC, I worked with the subject matter experts, which were the faculty members and all these great minds. And I worked with people at UNC that were hired, like graphic designers and instructional designers, computer programmers, and we created using technology, and we created digital platforms and things to help teach students how to learn pharmacy school. And so again, towards the end of my fellowship, I was thinking, okay, where can I go from here? I'm not sure. And again, it was my mentors that had a connection at APHA that were on the book department's editorial advisory board, that they were looking for a PharmD that had experience in educational technology. And that's how I personally got my role. And, again, what I do now and what I've been doing for the past, over 6 years is what I did on a small scale at UNC, just on a larger scale and creating literal books, digital resources, and just, again, fun, different work every day, which I know, again, there's not that many positions that I know about that are exactly like mine, but in the association world, the thing that is in common is that it is that feeling of you go to work and first of all, you're sitting at a desk, more like not standing on your feet necessarily, and then every day has that collaborative spirit in which you are working with others to do something for that profession, for pharmacy, or beyond a small scope, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, if you're in love with making an impact, I think associations is a great avenue, especially if you've been in practice as well and you're like, I'm tired of the way things are.
Yeah.
That's how I know a few people got into association work, was just practicing and was like, I'm tired of these problems. And I don't think I can do that alone with what I have or in my business or in my day job. Now, we're not, you already know this, Janan, that at the Happy PharmD, we often don't just say, you can go get a residency. That'll be the thing that gets you the new job.
Right.
So as you have interacted with likely hundreds of association pharmacists, have you noticed a pattern of how people got into association work?
I would say it is that path of showing up, volunteering, being active, being a member. I would say if you're looking for a specific association, make sure you're a member of that association, or if you haven't joined now.
Yeah, that's kind of the prerequisite. That's what we came up with in our blog, is we said, if you're not a part of association, either find something that you're passionate about to get involved with, or probably don't consider this pathway. Right? I mean, that's a harsh thing to say.
Yeah.
But if you're not involved, it's going to be very hard to build that career path. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider it.
Yeah.
It means get involved now, find out how you can help. I mean, there's so many places that are begging for help. There's opportunity out there.
Yeah. And, volunteering, I know you've made other posts and we've talked before, and there's a whole thing about how to say no. So you don't have to volunteer to do something that's going to take up your whole life. I'm not advocating for that by any means, but I think there are ways to take small steps, because it's a two-way street. You're also getting to know, what is that association about? What are they advocating for? Do you agree with what they stand for? Do you appreciate what they're doing for their members? Do you see yourself, wanting to stand for those principles? And, I think the more you engage on a voluntary level, I mean, there are ways where you can actually have a position, or as I've described, I accept all the time, I have this 2-page document. We need someone to just make sure this is accurate. Would you volunteer? You're for example, a fun thing that we're working on is content on spirituality in pharmacy. It's a niche content. It's really unique and interesting. And we have, we're publishing it digitally on Pharmacy Library on our platform. And, it's using our networks to say, oh my goodness, I know someone who is really interested in that, and sharing that opportunity with them. And that's where, you have that exciting opportunity to meet others that you just would never expect. So yeah, it's a really fun way to get to know others and learn new things and expand your horizons.
And I'll throw in one other fact. You don't have to be extroverted to be in an association.
True. Absolutely. You don't necessarily have to be networking all the time. There are positions that I know where I said before, pharmacist skills that are very transferable for me are the project management. I'm often, if I'm, others in the association too, you're sitting and you're answering emails. You are making sure things don't fall through the cracks. You are organizing information. You are doing that level of project management, delegation, working with others, that I think it's really a way to fill. There is creativity, there is innovation, and there's leadership if you choose to, and I think that's the exciting thing. The variety and the diversity is there if you choose. Because within associations, there are committees, right? There are committees that you can voluntarily do, as in other positions and jobs. But you make of it as you want. But yeah, that's a good point that you made.
You make what you make it what you want it to be.
That's true.
That's the beauty. And the other benefit I see in the association career path is, if you choose that path, you will likely find many other opportunities, right? You will likely be given opportunities because you're in constant contact with people, with providers, with businesses that interact with the company. And you're going to know, or at least have a pulse about what's out there, what opportunities are. And that's a good thing. It's kind of the opposite of what happens in the practitioner world. We kind of keep to ourselves. We don't talk much. We don't intersperse with each other. Whereas associations, it's very collaborative. So if you are considering the association career path, I'd encourage you to check out our blog, where we dive deep into all about the association career path. And you can download this guide along with like 50 plus career paths that we dive into. We talk about salary, we talk about expectations, requirements, how to transition into the career path. You can get that guide on the website as well. Janan, thanks for hanging out with me during this time and sharing a little bit of your own career path. I appreciate you, and I've enjoyed talking with you. So thanks.
Thank you.